Maya had always been different from other girls her age. While her friends spent hours talking about boys and planning weekend dates, she was busy building something much more important, her future. At 32, she lived alone in a beautiful apartment downtown, with floor-to-ceiling windows that looked out over the busy city streets below. Every morning started the same way. Her alarm went off at 6 sharp, and she would roll out of bed without hitting snooze even once. A quick shower, a cup of black coffee, and she was out the door for her morning run. The streets were quiet at that hour, with just a few early commuters. Heading to work, she loved this time of day because it belonged completely to her. Maya worked as a marketing director at one of the city's biggest advertising companies. She had climbed her way up from an entry-level position, working late nights and weekends, while others her age were out having fun. Her office walls were covered with awards and certificates, each one representing another step closer to her dream of running her own department. Her apartment reflected who she was perfectly. Everything had its place. The white walls were decorated with just a few carefully chosen pieces of art. Her kitchen had expensive appliances that she rarely used, preferring to order healthy meals from the restaurant downstairs. The living room had one comfortable chair positioned perfectly for reading, the small side table that always held whatever book she was currently working through. Friends often asked why she didn't want to share her space with someone special. Maya would just smile and change the subject. She had seen too many smart, successful women lose themselves in relationships. Her college roommate had dropped out to follow a boyfriend to another state. Her sister had given up her dream job too. Stay home with kids. Her best friend from high school had stopped pursuing her art because her husband thought it was a waste of time. Maya had made a promise to herself years ago. She would never become one of those women who defined herself through someone else. She had worked too hard and come too far to risk losing everything for something as unpredictable as love. Her dating life was simple and controlled. She would go out occasionally when friends set her up with someone or when a colleague asked her to dinner. These dates were pleasant enough, but she never let them go beyond a few casual meetings. Whenever someone started getting too interested, she would politely step back. She had perfected the art of being friendly but distant, warm but unavailable. The day everything changed started like any other Tuesday. Maya arrived at work early, grabbed her usual green tea from the coffee shop in the lobby, and took the elevator to the 15th floor. Her assistant had left a stack of messages on her desk, along with a note saying that the big client presentation had been moved up by a week. Maya felt a familiar rush of excitement. This was the kind of challenge she lived for. The presentation was for their biggest potential client of the year, a tech company looking to rebrand their image. If they won this account, it would mean a huge promotion for Maya, and probably her own department to run. She spent the morning reviewing their proposal, making notes in the margins, and calling team meetings to discuss strategy. By lunchtime, she felt confident they had a strong plan. That's when her boss knocked on her office door with news that would change everything. "Maya, I have some great news," he said, settling into the chair across from her desk. "The client loved our initial proposals so much that they want to move forward immediately, and they specifically requested that you lead the entire project." Maya felt her heart skip a beat. This was exactly what she had been working toward for years. "That's wonderful," she managed to say, trying to keep her voice professional despite the excitement bubbling up inside her. "There's just one thing," her boss continued. "They want to bring in a specific photographer for the visual campaign, someone they've worked with before who really understands their brand vision." Maya nodded. She was used to working with freelance photographers and usually enjoyed the collaborative process. "Of course, when do I meet them?" "Actually, he's coming in this afternoon for a preliminary meeting." "His name is Alex, and I think you'll find his work quite impressive." After her boss left, Maya tried to focus on her other projects, but she kept thinking about the promotion. She'd been dreaming of running her own department for so long that it hardly seemed real. She imagined calling her parents to share the news, seeing the pride in their faces when they realized how far their daughter had come. That evening, Maya decided to celebrate by ordering from her favorite Italian restaurant and opening a bottle of wine. She had been saving for a special occasion. She sat by her big window, looking out at the city lights and feeling proud of what she had accomplished. But as she sat there alone with her wine and pasta, something unexpected happened. Instead of feeling completely happy, she felt a strange emptiness. She had achieved exactly what she wanted, but somehow the victory felt smaller than she had expected. She shook her head, telling herself it was just the stress of the new project making her emotional. Her phone buzzed with congratulatory texts from friends and family, members who had heard about her promotion through the office gossip network. She replied to each one with appropriate gratitude, but found herself wishing she had someone sitting across from her at the table, someone to share this moment with properly. The thought surprised her. Maya had spent so many years convincing herself that she didn't need anyone else, that she had almost forgotten what it felt like to want companionship. She finished her wine and went to bed early, telling herself that tomorrow would bring new challenges that would fill the strange hollow feeling in her chest. Little did she know that tomorrow would indeed bring something new into her carefully ordered life, something that would challenge everything she thought she knew about independence, success, and what it really meant to be complete. The next morning, Maya arrived at work with her usual energy and focus. She had prepared extensively for the meeting with Alex, reviewing his portfolio online and making notes about the visual direction she wanted for the campaign. His work was impressive, she had to admit. He had a unique way of capturing people that made even ordinary moments look special. At exactly 2 o'clock, Maya's assistant knocked on her door. "Alex is here for your meeting," she announced with a small smile that Maya didn't quite understand at the time. "Send him in," Maya replied, straightening her blazer and arranging her notes on the conference table. The man who walked into her office was nothing like what she had expected. Most photographers she worked with were either overly artsy types who dressed in all black, or technical experts who talked endlessly about equipment. Alex was different, wore simple jeans and a navy button-down shirt, carried his camera bag casually over one shoulder, and had the kind of genuine smile that made you want to smile back. "Maya, right?" said, extending his hand. "I'm Alex. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me." His handshake was firm but not aggressive, and Maya noticed he made direct eye contact without being intense about it. "Please have a seat," she said, gesturing to the conference table. "I've been looking at your work. It's quite impressive, I looked at your company's previous campaigns, too. You have a really strong track record of connecting with audiences on an emotional level." Maya felt a small flutter of surprise. Most freelancers spent meetings talking about their own work and experience. Alex had taken the time to research her company's history and understand their approach. "So tell me about your vision for this project," Maya said. Opening her notebook, Alex leaned back in his chair and was quiet for a moment, as if he was really thinking about his answer. "Well, I spent some time researching the client, and what strikes me is that they're trying to move away from being seen as just another tech company. They want to be viewed as human, relatable, real." "Exactly," Maya said, feeling more engaged than she usually did in these initial meetings. "The thing is," Alex continued, "most corporate photography tries too hard to look perfect. Everything is staged and polished and fake. If we really want to show that this company is different, we need to capture genuine moments. Real people, real emotions, real connections." Maya found herself nodding along. "What does that look like practically?" Alex smiled and pulled out his tablet. "Mind if I show you something?" He swiped through several photos, all taken in office environments, but they looked nothing like typical corporate photography. There was a shot of 2 colleagues laughing over coffee, caught at the exact moment when their laughter was completely natural. Another showed someone working late, but instead of looking stressed, they appeared focused and passionate about their task. "How did you get people to look so natural?" Maya asked, genuinely curious. "I spend time with them first. I don't just show up and start shooting. I talk to them, learn about their work, find out what they're passionate about, and people feel comfortable, they forget about the camera." Maya studied the photos more carefully. There was something about them that drew you in, made you want to know more about the people in the pictures. "This is exactly the direction we need to go," she said. "Great, when can we start?" Over the next hour, They outlined a shooting schedule that would take them to various locations around the city. Alex suggested they begin with some test shots at the office to get a feel for the company culture. "I like to work collaboratively," Alex explained as they wrapped up the meeting. "I'll handle the technical and creative side of the photography, but I'd love your input on making sure we're hitting the right messaging points." Maya realized she was looking forward to working with him, which was unusual. She typically preferred to give freelancers clear instructions and let them work independently. "That sounds like a good approach," she heard herself saying. After Alex left, Maya tried to focus on her other projects, but she kept thinking about their conversation. There was something refreshing about his approach to work. He seemed genuinely interested in creating something meaningful rather than just completing another assignment. 2 days later, they met for their first photo session at the client's office. Maya had worn her usual professional attire, a tailored black suit and heels. Alex showed up in dark jeans and a gray sweater, carrying 2 cameras and a small bag of equipment. "You travel light," Maya observed as they walked through the office lobby. "I've learned that too much equipment makes people nervous. They start focusing on all the gear instead of just being themselves." As they toured the office space, Alex pointed out things Maya had never noticed before. The way morning sunlight streamed through the east-facing windows and lit up the reception area. How the employees had personalized their workspaces with family photos and small plants. The genuine friendships that were obvious in how people interacted during coffee breaks. "You see things differently than most people," Maya said as they paused in the break room. Alex shrugged. "I think everyone sees these things. Most people just don't take the time to really look." They spent the afternoon photographing employees in their natural work environment. Maya watched Alex interact with each person, taking a few minutes to chat before bringing out his camera. She saw how people relaxed around him, how their genuine personalities emerged once they forgot they were being photographed. During a quiet moment between shots, Alex turned to Maya. "You know, you should be in some of these photos. You're part of the team that makes this campaign work." Maya felt herself tense up. She preferred to stay behind the scenes, directing rather than participating. "I don't think that's necessary. Trust me," Alex said gently. "Sometimes the best shots happen when we step out of our comfort zones." Something in his voice made Maya reconsider. Before she could change her mind, she found herself agreeing to a few candid shots during the team meeting they were photographing. Later, as they reviewed the day's work on Alex's laptop, Maya was surprised by what she saw. The photos captured something real and warm about the workplace culture. And in the shots where she appeared, she looked natural and confident, not stiff like she usually did in professional photos. "These are really good," she said, meaning it. "It was a good day," Alex replied. Everyone was relaxed and authentic. That's when the magic happens. As they packed up to leave, Maya realized she was already looking forward to their next session. For the first time in years, work felt less like a series of tasks to complete and more like a creative collaboration. She wasn't sure why Alex's presence made such a difference, but she found herself hoping their project would take longer than originally planned. Over the next few weeks, Maya found herself looking forward to work in a way she hadn't felt in years. Every time Alex was scheduled to come in for a photo session, she would catch herself checking her appearance in the mirror more carefully than usual. She told herself it was just professional pride, wanting to look her best for client meetings. Their working relationship had developed into something easy and comfortable. Alex would arrive with his quiet confidence and warm smile, and somehow, he made even the most stressful shoot days feel manageable. Maya noticed that other employees in the office had started looking forward to photo sessions too. Alex remembered everyone's names after meeting them just once, and he had a way of making people feel important and interesting. "How do you do that?" Maya asked him one afternoon as they wrapped up a session with the accounting team. "Do what?" Alex replied, carefully packing his camera equipment. "Make everyone feel so comfortable. I've been working with some of these people for years, and I've never seen them open up the way they do with you." Alex paused, considering his answer. "I think people just want to be seen, you know? Really seen. Not just as their job title or their role in the office, but as whole people with interests and stories and dreams." Maya felt something stir inside her chest. She realized that in all her years of climbing the corporate ladder, she had forgotten to really see the people around her. She had been so focused on targets and deadlines and success that she had missed the human connections that made work meaningful. "You make it sound simple," she said. "Maybe it is simple, but we just make it complicated by overthinking everything." As their project expanded, Maya found reasons to extend their collaboration. She suggested additional photo sessions, proposed new angles for the campaign, and volunteered to personally oversee every aspect of Alex's work. Her colleagues started teasing her about how invested she had become in this particular project. "You're spending more time with that photographer than you do with us," her assistant joked one morning. Maya felt her cheeks warm. "It's an important campaign. I want to make sure we get it right." But deep down, she knew it was more than professional dedication. She had started thinking about Alex outside of work hours. She wondered what he did on weekends, what kind of music he liked, whether he enjoyed cooking or preferred ordering takeout, like she did. These thoughts made her uncomfortable because they felt dangerously close to caring about someone in a way she had sworn to avoid. The turning point came on a Friday afternoon when their planned outdoor shoot was threatened by an unexpected rainstorm. They had scheduled to photograph employees at a nearby park during their lunch break, capturing the company's commitment to work-life balance. "We could reschedule," Maya suggested, watching the dark clouds gather outside the office windows. Alex checked the weather app on his phone. "Actually, the storm should pass in about an hour. We could grab some lunch and wait it out, then shoot in that amazing light that happens right after rain." Maya's first instinct was to suggest they reschedule and stick to the planned timeline. But something in Alex's enthusiasm made her pause. "Where did you have in mind for lunch?" "There's this little food truck that parks about 2 blocks from here. It's best tacos in the city, and the owner always has interesting stories to tell." Maya looked down at her business suit and heels. "I'm not exactly dressed for food truck dining." "Come on," Alex said with a grin. "When's the last time you did something just for fun?" The question caught Maya off guard. She couldn't actually remember the last time she had done something spontaneous, something that wasn't planned and scheduled and goal-oriented, before she could talk herself out of it. She found herself walking through the light rain with Alex, heading toward a bright yellow food truck decorated with colorful murals. The owner, a friendly woman in her 50s, greeted Alex like an old friend and insisted on recommending her favorite combination of tacos. They found a covered picnic table in a small park nearby. Maya felt awkward at first trying to eat tacos gracefully while wearing a business suit. But Alex started telling funny stories about some of his previous photography assignments. And soon she was laughing so hard she forgot to worry about looking professional. "This is really good," Maya said, surprised by how much she was enjoying the simple meal. "Sometimes the best experiences are the ones we don't plan," Alex replied. After they finished eating, the rain stopped and the sun came out, just as Alex had predicted. The park looked completely transformed, with everything fresh and sparkling in the golden afternoon light. Maya watched Alex work, seeing how he captured not just images, but moments, not just faces, but emotions. "Maya," he said suddenly, lowering his camera, "would you mind if I took a few shots of you? The light is perfect right now and you look... ... He paused, and Maya felt her heart skip a beat. "I look what?" she asked softly. "Happy. Really happy. I don't think I've seen you look this relaxed before." Maya realized he was right. She felt different, lighter somehow. The afternoon had been so easy and natural that she had forgotten to maintain her usual professional barriers. "Okay," she heard herself saying, "but just a few." Alex photographed her sitting on the park bench, looking out at the trees still dripping from the rain. Maya wasn't posing or trying to look a certain way. She was just being herself, maybe for the first time in years. When they returned to the office later that afternoon, Maya felt like something fundamental had shifted. She couldn't put her finger on exactly what had changed, but she knew that. The carefully constructed walls she had built around her heart had developed their first small crack. That evening, alone in her apartment, Maya found herself thinking about the afternoon over and over. The easy conversation, the shared laughter, the way Alex had looked at her when he called her happy. She felt scared and excited and confused all at the same time. For the first time in her adult life, Maya began to wonder if maybe, just maybe, Letting someone into her perfectly controlled world might not be the disaster she had always imagined it would be. The weeks that followed changed Maya in ways she never expected. What started as a professional project had become something much deeper, though she was still afraid to name it. Alex had begun stopping by her office, even when they didn't have scheduled meetings, sometimes bringing coffee for her team, or sharing interesting articles he thought she might enjoy. Maya found herself looking forward to these casual visits more than she cared to admit. Her colleagues had started commenting on how different she seemed. Her assistant mentioned that she was smiling more often, and her boss noted that she seemed more creative and willing to take risks in her campaign proposals. One evening, after a particularly successful presentation to the client, Alex suggested they celebrate with dinner. Not at a food truck this time, but at a real restaurant. Maya's first instinct was to decline, to maintain the professional boundaries she had always relied on. But the word yes came out of her mouth before her brain could stop it. The restaurant Alex chose was small and cozy, with soft lighting and comfortable chairs. It was the kind of place Maya had walked past hundreds of times, but never thought to enter. She usually preferred business dinners at upscale establishments, where everything was predictable and professional. "I have to confess something," Alex said after they had ordered their meals. "I've been looking forward to this all week." Maya felt her heart speed up. "It's been a good project to work on." "I'm not talking about the project," Alex said gently. "I'm talking about spending time with you. Away from cameras and clients and deadlines." Maya stared at her hands, unsure how to respond. Part of her wanted to redirect the conversation back to work, to safe topics that didn't make her feel so vulnerable. But another part of her, a part that had been growing stronger every day, wanted to be honest about her feelings. "I've been looking forward to it too," she admitted quietly. The conversation that followed was unlike any Maya had experienced in years. They talked about their childhoods, their dreams, their fears. Alex told her about growing up in a small town where everyone knew everyone else's business, and how he had always felt like he was meant for something bigger. Maya shared stories about her driven parents who had taught her that success was the most important thing in life, and how she had spent years trying to live up to their expectations. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you had made different choices?" Alex asked, as they shared dessert. Maya considered the question. "I used to think that wondering about other paths was a waste of time. But lately, I've been thinking about it more. What conclusions have you reached? That maybe I've been so focused on building the life I thought I wanted that I forgot to consider what would actually make me happy." Alex reached across the table and gently touched her hand. "And what do you think would make you happy?" Maya looked at their hands, his fingers warm against hers. "I'm still figuring that out," she said honestly. Over the following weeks, Maya and Alex began spending time together outside of work. They took long walks through different neighborhoods, discovering coffee shops and bookstores and art galleries that Maya had never noticed despite living in the city for years. Alex showed her how to see beauty in ordinary moments, the way light filtered through trees, how people's faces changed when they laughed, the interesting architecture of buildings she had walked past without really seeing. Maya realized that she was learning to slow down for the first time in her adult life. She started taking lunch breaks instead of eating at her desk. She left work at reasonable hours instead of staying late every night. She even took a Saturday afternoon off too. Go to a farmer's market with Alex, something she never would have done before. "You seem different," her sister Lisa said during one of their weekly phone calls. "Happier somehow." Maya was surprised by the observation. "Do I?" "Yes. You're talking about things other than work. You mentioned going to an art exhibit last weekend. You never used to do things like that." Maya realized her sister was right. She had been so focused on career advancement for so long that she had forgotten there were other ways to spend her time. With Alex, she was rediscovering parts of herself that she had buried under ambition and responsibility. The transformation wasn't just in how she spent her free time. Maya noticed changes in how she approached her work too. She was more collaborative with her team, more willing to listen to creative ideas from others. She took risks with campaign concepts that she would have considered too bold before. Surprisingly, these changes made her even more successful at her job. The biggest change came when Maya decided to introduce Alex to her family. She had never brought anyone to a family gathering before, always showing up alone to birthdays and holidays. When her parents invited her to their anniversary dinner, she found herself asking if she could bring someone. "Of course, dear," her mother said, though Maya could hear the surprise in her voice. "We'd love to meet him." The dinner was at her parents' favorite restaurant, a place where Maya had attended countless family celebrations over the years. She felt nervous as she and Alex walked in, unsure how her achievement-focused parents would react to a freelance photographer who valued creativity over traditional success. She needn't have worried. Alex charmed her parents immediately, asking thoughtful questions about her father's work and complimenting her mother on the beautiful garden photos she had shared. He talked about photography not as a hobby, but as a meaningful way to connect with people and tell their stories. "He's wonderful," her mother whispered to Maya when Alex stepped away to take a phone call. "I can see why you're happy." Maya realized that her mother was right. She was happy, not just successful or accomplished or financially secure, but genuinely happy in a way she had never experienced before. That night, as Alex walked her to her apartment door, Maya felt overwhelmed by gratitude for the journey that had brought them together. She had spent so many years building walls around her heart, convinced that love would weaken her or distract her from her goals. Instead, she had discovered that love was making her stronger, more creative, more willing to take risks both professionally and personally. "Thank you," she said as they stood in the hallway outside her door. "For what?" Alex asked. "For helping me remember who I am underneath all the career goals and 5-year plans." Alex smiled and gently brushed a strand of hair from her face. "Didn't need help remembering. You just needed permission to be yourself." For the first time in years, Maya felt completely at peace with who she was becoming.